In my dissertation for my doctorate, I literally put pro-inflammatory people as a trigger
Yeah.
because it is so important. It's very easy to cut out whatever, sugar, dairy, whatever you don't feel like works with you, alcohol, blah, blah, blah. Pro-inflammatory foods, pro-inflammatory thoughts, and pro-inflammatory like people are some of the biggest things that we have. Like, so doing an audit on your energy, the people that you allow in your life, the relationships, and that doesn't always mean romantic. That also means friendships. That also means coworkers. That means literally anybody that you feel there's an energetic exchange with. That is so important. The way that we talk to ourselves and the people that we surround ourselves with and the environment that we put ourselves in, those are going to be some of the biggest things that I think ultimately impact not only, of course, your overall health, but what's going on with your physical body. Emotional contagion is a very real thing. There's studies about this. You don't have to be a scientist or a doctor or anything. You see somebody else who's smiling and laughing, like it's my mom has a really infectious laugh. When she starts like laughing hysterically, I can't help it but laugh, even if I don't know what's going on. Same thing. There's also studies and research that talk about when somebody's in a really bad mood or they're anxious or they're negative, you all of a sudden start to feel that kind of way as well. So, like doing an emotional, energetic audit on the people that are in your life is really important, and cutting out pro inflammatory people and cutting out pro inflammatory thoughts are going to be, I think, some of the most important things, but some of the toughest work because there could be people that you've had in your life. It could be family members. It could be, whatever that's just not serving you anymore and not in alignment with like your overall health and wellness goals. So I think that is going to be number one. And then again, just like the really basic, boring stuff, like go spend more time in nature with your shoes off by yourself and like doing less. Don't do things that you feel like I ate this, so I have to go to the gym. Like doing less, like not being so hard on your body with everything. So like more slow living movement. I know it's like a thing now, but like, this idea of like just kind of slowing down and like doing whether that's just like stretching or Pilates or walking or starfishing on the ground with a castor oil pack. Like literally just like embracing that slow living movement is going to be really important as well because that, from the scientific side is putting us into parasympathetic mode.
Mhm.
And then just like drinking quality water and like going to sleep. Those are going to be some of the most basic, boring things that, yeah, they're going to take a little bit of time, but those are going to have some of the biggest ripple effects, I think, on your overall health, but especially your mental and emotional health.
I think exercise is extremely, what's the word? Like
Toxic.
it's just an area that I think is causing anxiety for a lot of people that they're not realizing, and because we hold on to it like, oh, this is good for me. It's good for my mental health. And I don't, I think, and I'm speaking from the lens of someone who's more oriented in the health space, right? Because that's more of my audience and both of us. Like for the person that, doesn't get off their butt, like, yeah, maybe
Right.
some exercise would be helpful. But I feel there are a lot of people who are, in their hyper healthy phase and their exercise is causing a lot of anxiety. Like I know for me, when I just stopped anything except walking, like I just walk, it was like all of my anxiety went away.
We are the same person. Literally, it's been a month. I go to Pilates, pretty much
Yeah.
that's it. And then sometimes like there's this one gym that I like cuz it's just like a high intensity thing that I can do like my body can handle it once a week.
Mm-hmm.
In the past month, I've walked pretty much every day and maybe gone to Pilates like 3 or 4 times. That's it. And it's probably like the best my body has actually looked
Mm-hmm.
and how I felt. Like walking is literally the best form of exercise. Like that's you don't need to go and if you want to do it, of course, it's great for your mental health, but you can get the same benefits from like walking outside. And I've even caught myself of like, what if I'm going to this workout class right now? I'm like, really, what's my intention? Am I going because I truly want to go? Or am I going because I'm doing it out of a place of punishment or I don't like the way my body looks today? And I think that's where the relationship with working out can become very unhealthy. Like for me, a couple of the gyms that I go to, like my friends go to. So like it's fun and I'm a pretty big social recluse. So like if I can go and be like social and work out at the same time, I'm like, that's great. But if I ever catch myself being like, I haven't worked out in 4 days, so I have to go to this class, I'm like, no, now you're absolutely not going to the class. You're going to go walk outside because you're not going for the right reasons and your intentions are not actually pure. So I think that's where it can get kind of like sticky for people.
Yeah, I think the relationship, and I also just think like the overtraining piece, and people don't realize how little they need. I mean, I think about like for me, I was I wasn't lifting heavy weights. I was lifting like 15 pound. I was doing like 15-pound dumbbells and like that like 3 to 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And then Like that was it. And when I dropped that and just switched to walking, my anxiety went down by like 500%. And I was like,
Yeah.
what was going on? You
Well,
know?
because I think some people too, they feel because you do. I mean, listen, it's you gain positive momentum too. Of
Hmm.
course, you go to work out, you feel good, you get the endorphins, like of course, right? But then
Hmm.
like workout anxiety, guilt kicks in, the guilt
Mm.
thing where you're like, I didn't work out and I feel bad, like so you feel like you have to, or it's been 3 days, and I think that guilt and anxiety, I think, are like cousins of
Hmm.
emotions where fear and or it's fear. It's a fear coming from a place of like, well, if I don't work out, then I'm going to all of a sudden lose all of my progress, or I'm going to get fat, or I'm going to gain whatever your fear is. So I think fear and guilt, if those are your driving motivations, those of course are like those are the three amigos of like anxiety, if you will. So again, like
Hmm.
what's the intention actually of me wanting to do anything in life? And I think if any of those other secondary emotions are going to be like a driver, then like you're probably going to feel anxious, on some level.